Michael and Dason.
Blue
Dason.
Temple.
The 2 winners we've seen tonight.
Yes. So round 1 winner against our round 2 winner.
Nice.
Aggro
it is.
Tempest Jin versus
Aurelia.
History.
Healer's Hawks.
History Aurelia.
If anything we've seen
History
is Healer's
Aurelia.
Hawks. Yeah.
We didn't see any Aurelias in Dason's list. I think he's more of the mono white splashing for Sacred Foundry plan.
Oh, I think Dason is running the Ajani's Pride Mate list.
We didn't see any of Johnny's Pride Mates.
I think he is running that list though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
similar to what Channel Fireball brought to the Pro Tour for the most recent one.
Okay. We didn't see any last round, but whatever. People are allowed to play with whatever they want, as I'm known to say.
Yeah, that's a really good deck, actually.
What red cards was he playing?
We didn't see any.
The one that I might see any red might be Deafening Clarion.
We didn't even see that.
No.
Yeah, Dason didn't cast a single red spell.
Okay. It could be mono white.
Maybe it's for a Johnny Vengeant.
I mean,
wait, I was about to
that would be real sweet.
Like, that's interesting, but not the right.
To go with his.
It's definitely in my top 5 favorite planeswalkers. But
to go with his other Johnny.
I don't know if that would last too long on the table.
I apologize beforehand to you, Ben.
What would happen? What'd you do?
In case you get shot by a paintball gun, I have nothing to do with it.
Ah. I see.
But I hear that you made a good reciprocal deal.
Yes, this is true. The most important part of this is no frozen paintballs.
Not even a regular one.
I don't mind getting shot by a regular paintball. It hurts, but
yeah.
Frozen paintball.
It's a neat.
Dason really just rolled a 7.
A very average roll.
By rolling, I mean he placed it on the table that way.
10 to
so
11.
there's an 11 from Dason. Cheating already.
So Dason following up with the classic Vegas 7 come 11.
My favorite is to ask my opponent, would you like to high roll? And they say yes. I allow them to roll first. They usually roll 2d6. I reach over, grab 6d6. Typically I'll win.
That's Pro Tour style play.
Yeah. Well, on the Pro Tour, I got everybody to play rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, did you?
I like that.
Actually, Ben here actually gave me the set of rock, paper, scissors.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I didn't get anybody to turn me down. All right, we got a Mistcloak Herald, a wrist,
we got an ability
some arm
to not
hair,
see.
and moles.
Yeah. There we go.
Island, Exclusion Mage,
yeah.
2 Mistcloak Heralds. Okay.
That's a solid start
It's
there.
a hand.
I see a Legion's Landing, a Benelish Marshal, a History of Benelia, and a Healer's Hawk.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Dason's got a pretty solid hand here.
I feel like it's going to go turn 1 Hawk, turn 2...
We got
I had to play Hawk first, but what do I know?
Yeah, it would be good to play Hawk first, but they both have lifelink at least.
More specifically, I forgot that Legion's Landing made a dude.
Yep.
So in the end, it didn't really matter.
Still 1 damage. Dason playing the Hawk, just like he suggested.
It literally does the same thing as the other way around.
Well, the Hawk
1 flies.
Same thing. 0 difference here.
If all things being equal, I'd rather have the one that flies than the one that doesn't fly.
Benelish Marshal or History here?
I'd play Benelish Marshal. Well, actually, no, I play History.
I play History too.
Yeah,
but
because you're not triggering your landing yet. I would play History to get more dudes out,
and then Benelish Marshal the next turn too.
Yeah.
I understand what Dason's going for here.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to Merfolk Trickster and making
trade.
the Hawk no longer flying and trade.
He's been doing that quite a bit.
Wait, what happened there with the Hawk?
The Hawk trades with it because it's a 2/2 from the Benelish Marshal.
Yeah, he
and the
just made it
Merfolk
lose
Trickster
flying,
makes it lose flying because it loses all abilities.
Got it.
Mistcloak gets
I
in.
thought
no
it
matter
taps
what.
it.
It taps it
but he
first
did it after.
and also makes it an ability. So he did it after attack phase, so you could trade.
Gotcha.
Which he's been liking to do.
Mm-hmm. It's a good way to get rid of flyers that the blue deck can't necessarily deal with if he doesn't have a Tempest Shin at the time.
What happened to the other Benelish Marshal? Oh, got
Got bounced from
He got bounced from
Exclusion
Exclusion
Mage.
Mage and just came back.
All right, so Michael falling behind on his aggro plan because he's trading his creatures for other creatures.
Yep.
Rather than valuing his life total as a resource. That's my interpretation of what's happening right
Agreed. He's sitting at a big 19.
He's left with a couple of 1/1s that aren't going to be strong enough to punch.
They're not going to be able to keep
They
up.
will punch through, quote unquote.
But they can't keep up.
Yeah, they're not going to race very well.
Yeah.
Now, Dason could walk into this counter magic here real easily.
Yeah, but when you're beaten in for 5 a turn against his 2 a turn.
Michael's best line of play is to hope for Tempest Djinn for honestly blocking purposes.
I'd be trying to bait. Yeah, that's what I would do.
So Danto Vanguard.
Yep. And then
you immediately drew the Essence Scatter, second to Danto Vanguard.
Right. I'm trying to protect the history of Analia. Thinking if my opponent had counterplay, let him waste it on my 1 creature rather than my 2 creatures.
Besides Tempest Djinn, I think the only other draws that would help Michael here right now are Curious Obsessions to get more draws, to continue to fill his hand. Besides that, Exclusion Mages will help with a few of the tokens. Might be able to delay the Legion's Landing flip for a turn, but once that Legion Landing flips, Michael has to start dealing with a lot more things.
This is a matchup where I really like to see Entrancing Melee.
Yeah, it's great because you can just pay it for X equals 0, steal the token.
Yeah, like we see here too, like he's at 5 mana.
Yep.
What are you doing with 5 mana in this deck?
Stealing a Banish Marshal.
Right.
5 mana, you're basically hoping to play like Tempest Djinn, hold up a counter. That's it. Or Siren Stormtamer, Curious Obsession, draw some more cards.
This is
a lot of damage. That's 4, 6, 9 coming in.
9.
So he blocked the 4, I'm assuming.
We'll see if Dason... So if he blocked the 4...
Dason doesn't have to pay. It's got 2 toughness.
Oh, I see. Sorry, he just blocked it with the untapped Mistbinder, right?
Yeah.
My bad. So going first in these aggro matchups, so there's that Curious Obsession.
Oh man, I feel like he's going to be dead on the crackback.
It's very possible, yeah.
But
there's a Sprite and a
he needs something like Sleep. Sleep might be his only out.
So we'll see Dason make a token.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was wishing from something from his sideboard. That's literally where my mind went. I was like, do we have wishes in this format? Which we do.
And look, we see a clifftop retreat.
Yeah.
So
I think it's all a ruse, actually. I think
it?
he's only playing clifftop retreats.
So he's next leveling all this?
Yeah.
I like it.
They're like, oh, he must be playing Aurelia. Let me bring in my Crushing Canopies.
Yeah.
So Dason electing not to pay here.
Wait, but the Night Veil Strike's a 1/2. That shouldn't die.
Die to what?
Agreed.
That shouldn't die.
What do you mean shouldn't die?
The Adanto Vanguard wouldn't die to a 1/2 Night Veil Strike. Because it's a 4/2.
It is tapped, however.
It is tapped, yeah.
Man, they are on the money and with listening to us in the room.
And there should be a token coming from the history if it resolves.
Which it does.
Which I guess they were waiting to see if Michael was going to counter.
Let's see if he gets... He does get the right token for this card. I am big on using the correct token.
The Stained Glass Window token has Mythic Rarity, so that is the one that should go with the Mythic level card.
Not the one from Call of the Cavalry or whatever.
Yes.
So, in Ultimate Masters, I play the Molten Birth elemental tokens of my Young Pyromancer. Yeah.
Are they different?
No, they're different art, but they're both 1/1 red elementals.
Okay.
What kind of monster are you been?
The best kind of monster. The red kind of monster.
So in this matchup, I want my Essence Scatters.
Yeah. Definitely. Now going first makes a very, very big difference, obviously, with these two aggro decks.
Well, one believes it's itself to be a tempo deck. Being able to successfully tempo is important.
That's true.
And the way we saw him do this last time against the other Boros deck was leaving up critical counter spells on the right turn. Yeah. Countering Aurelia was really important against what's his name? Mark.
Mark.
It's going to be a little harder against this style of Boros deck because you're not just going, oh, you play creatures. Essence Scatter is my card. This is creatures, enchantments. So that's going to be a little more tricky for Michael here, I think, is getting the right mix of negates and essence scatters. Maybe,
it's not like you could ignore the non-creature spells either.
Maybe Spell Pierce. I'm not a big fan of Spell Pierce right now in Standard, but I don't think it's right for this deck. I don't think it closes the game out fast enough for the constriction on mana on the other side to be as relevant.
I think it's way more relevant in the mirror, and then maybe it's a control matchup. Against Boros, unlikely to make a huge impact.
Well, his hope, the best case scenario with Spell Pierce is hitting history. Yeah. I guess it's possible to get also Legion's landing on turn 1, but it's not the greatest. And if there's a Johnny coming in out of the sideboard, he can hit that as well.
It gets a lot worse as the game goes on, and it's not like his deck is closing the game out that quickly. So the game is going to go on.
Yeah.
So I would personally hate to draw these cards.
What do you think about Disdainful Stroke right now?
Awesome. That card is awesome.
In this particular matchup?
Oh, in this matchup?
In Standard
no,
in general.
I wouldn't play it in this matchup.
In Standard, I think it's a very playable card. In Limited, it's just out of control good.
It's always been that good in Limited.
Modern, it's a very playable card. We've got Island, Curious Obsession. What is that thing? Is that Jace?
I see a Spell Pierce. Is that the 3-cost Jace?
No. It is.
No.
That's not Jace.
That's something else. It might be the Tempest Gen. It didn't look like it.
Cunning Castaway.
Jake Cunning
Castaway.
Oh yeah.
Jake, you should bring up that graphic.
I would cast Jake away every day.
There you go, Jake.
Oh. Wow. Can I get a poster of that? Maybe a playmat?
All I want to know now is what red card Dason is running, because he led with Clifftop Regime.
This might be a reason to call for a deck check.
I'm interested.
There's a red card.
I am. Okay.
Response
Integrity Intervention.
That should be the +2/+2 one, right? With the lightning strike on the end. Or which one is that one?
No, that's Response Resurgence.
Oh, that's Response Resurgence, the DL5.
And there's that Spell Pierce.
Good on curve. So again, I'm going to say this is a critical turn, and I think later we will come back to this and say this is why Michael won.
Ooh, Shield Mirror.
Not bad.
Interesting.
Shield Mirror does what again?
It gives you 3 life, can't be blocked by red, I believe.
Sure.
Creatures?
Sure.
I think so.
Yeah. It should synergize with the life gain if he does have an Ajani's Pride.
I think as long as Michael is now able to
protect,
successfully predict what his opponent's going to play. Okay, I thought I saw a Spell Swindle. It was actually a Marauder. But I thought it was a Spell Swindle.
Yeah, because of the yellow and the
red
background.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Spell Swindle in your aggro deck.
It's Temple deck, bro. Temple deck.
Yeah. Jake, I might get a playmat made of that picture.
If you do, I would like one.
And when he says might, it's almost always a guarantee.
Yeah, I don't actually. Yeah, I don't say I might do something and then not do it.
Yeah.
I would like to get one. Let me know how much. Yeah.
I'll probably just go to the typical playmat making site.
Yes.
And order.
Which they're super simple. Same place I made your
the BFM.
BFM and Gerard's BFM half. For those of you who don't know, Ben and Gerard, our table judge, have each half of BFM as playmats.
Yeah.
They don't typically get together enough to have them together.
Yeah.
But that was the hope
That being said,
2 Decembers ago.
Every time we ever play at his house, those are the only mats we use.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully next to each other. So when you guys are playing, you guys can actually just look left and right at each other's cards.
I mean, that's the ideal, right?
Dason had a pretty productive turn here. He was able to play History of Vanilla and Legion's Landing, getting both tokens.
Yep.
The problem is he still has not been able to deal with that double draw.
It's a problem.
If there's a
doubt.
turn where he's going to be able to turn the corner, it's going to start with History Banal resolving.
Yeah. But it's a big win to get there.
You can see this.
Michael drawing an exclusion mage is big, though.
This counter magic that's showing up in his hand. There's even a dive down.
The dive down is the big one right there.
If he needs to leave up these 2 blue mana, he should recognize that.
It's a big 2 because
It's a 5/4 currently. I mean, that's pretty big game.
Dason really wants to attack here and flip history. So he's gonna
Legion's Landing?
Oh, sorry, Legions, yeah.
I would not counter this. It is not worth the
dive down mana.
It seems like Michael has literally just countered everything.
He has Essence Scatter, Spell Pierce, and a dive down in hand that I know of. I think
I leave up the I leave up the dive down.
Leave up the dive down.
Let the Shield Mirror resolve. I feel like the Shield Mirror is a trick that and now we have a flipped Legion's Landing. Michael needs to close this game out quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Vanilla next turn will bring
he's
in
got-
a couple of large swingbacks.
He's got at least 8 power on board flying at the moment. Bouncing one of these tokens might not be a bad thing, especially with History of Vanilla coming up soon. That's 2 Essence Scatters, a Warkite Marauder.
And a Spell Pierce.
Warkite Marauder is looking not all that great at the moment.
It's a little too slow. Now he is going to get another card off an attack, so there's that.
2.
Yeah, I believe there's.
Or
there
there
are 2
on there.
Curious Obsessions on there.
That Storm Tamer is doubly curious.
Yeah.
And super obsessed with cards.
Charticores.
I'd play that Charticores quick, fast, in a hurry. Getting some card selection.
A lot of cards.
Yeah, I don't think I would have played the land. I think I would have fired off the Charticores first.
Yeah, pitch the land.
Yeah.
Michael has to make sure he doesn't just
Land is
die
power,
on,
though.
on the
True.
backpack. That's the big
True.
thing.
Land is power. I guess that's relevant in this deck. It's a 6/4.
He has to see if he dies to a crack.
Teamer Battle Rage would be really nice here.
Yeah.
That's a crack for 9.
With a stubborn denial to back it up.
Yeah. Super relevant.
Yeah.
There's a Siren Storm Tamer. It's good for chump block duty right now.
It also protects Michael's biggest threat.
Yes.
Correct. You don't have to pay for that, right? Or do you have to pay for it?
You gotta pay
One.
1 blue.
1 blue and sack.
Yeah. Warkite Marauder. Chump block duty. Another chump block duty.
He has 3 mana available to protect at least 3 times. Dive down.
Your job is to survive
Yep, this turn.
until you can lethal, basically.
He has to survive this turn, basically.
And Dason looks to have 1 card in hand.
Yep. 1 really good card, hopefully.
Not sure what a really good card would be, other than
A Deafening Clarion.
a relic. Yeah,
But then he would have
even that he's dead.
Yep, you do have to swing in. There's no other choice.
Trickster's Trade, and then chump chump.
Nobody's just gonna take
He'll
the
take the
3.
2. Oh,
Is
3.
that maybe it's like a binding or something of that nature.
Ooh, Call of the Conclave. All his creatures will get +2/+2 because he does have the city's blessing.
I don't think that's going to matter.
Yep, it's not. Yep, but he might want to play it anyway to get lifelink.
Not Call of the Conclave.
It's not, or not.
I'm not sure what it's called. It's the one that gives him +2/+2 though.
It's +1/+1 unless he has a city's blessing, and then if he has a city's blessing, it's +2/+2.
Pride of the Conquerors.
Pride of the Conquerors.
What's happening here?
He conceded.
Dason scooped.
Yeah.
All right.
Game
I
3.
will go back and say that if Michael had let that removal happen, he would have no game here.
Yep.
He wouldn't have had the card draw engine. He wouldn't have been able to land a meaningful Tempest Gem.
Mono Blue Temple is all about playing a Siren Storm color in the first 2 turns and protecting a Curious Obsession something.
Yeah.
Until you get to a Tempest Djinn before your friend.
I'm hoping that Michael understands this as well, and this isn't all just happenstance.
It gets a little awkward if you don't draw the right opening salvo kind of cards, but there is a high enough concentration that Mono Blue on average gets 1 or 2 of those cards in there.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty awful Mono Blue games.
Yeah, there's sometimes where they just fizzle out and it feels bad, but
Well, I think even the subtleties of understanding what makes a tempo deck and what makes an aggro deck an aggro deck.
Yeah.
That can get lost in translation sometimes, especially if it's like if you're a newer player, people aren't explaining these things to you. They're just throwing names on decks. And you're just like, sure, I don't know why it's a tempo deck. I don't really know what that means, right? Some people might find it intuitive or figure it out, go look it up. Some people just go, yeah, they said it's mono blue tempo. I don't know what that means.
I just turned my guy sideways.
Right, which would be an aggro deck. Tempo is wait till you stabilize, then close it. You want to be able to close quickly.
yeah, tempo decks tend to have a window of 1 or 2 turns to kill a person, and making sure that you get to those specific 1 or 2 turns is like the entire point of the deck.
Right.
Whether it is with soft counters, a lot of times with blue with bounce effects. That's why tempo decks work, because blue provides a lot of defense, but also like a really weird amount of like soft removal.
So we still have not seen any red cards from Dason.
We saw response
That's
insurgents.
a Venerated Loxodon,
Sure.
a Dauntless Bodyguard, a Adanto Vanguard, and something else. All of which are very, very
See
solid
some
cards for
Wizard's Retort.
I do.
Mistcaller. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a Mistcaller Herald, Wizard Retort. I didn't see that other stuff.
So one thing about the mono blue tempo deck with the counter spells, a lot of times you bring them out of the sideboard, but I don't like to see them in my opening hand if I'm on the draw. If you're on the play, you're okay, but if you're on the draw, you just want creatures so that you can stabilize to get to those counters. Because holding those counters when you can't use them, like right now, feels super bad.
The Dauntless Bodyguard is protecting itself.
It's protecting nothing, in fact.
It protects itself.
Yeah, he can sacrifice himself to block a spell.
Really?
Yeah.
You can be like, I'm going to guard
It's
myself.
not another target creature?
It is another target creature, but
Oh, you're correct. It is not target creature.
Yeah.
You know what?
I guess
Stop
you can.
picking on me. I would
I guess
really
you can't
appreciate that.
sacrifice it without a target, right?
Yeah.
Actually, you can. No, I looked this up. You can sacrifice it.
Really?
Yeah, because it just says sacrifice it. The chosen creature gets indestructible. There's no targets involved, so you can sacrifice it to pay its cost.
Well, the second Adanto Vanguard did not make it out because Michael was able to Essence Scatter it, but the first one is...
The second one would have been great for the Adanto Vanguard as extra insurance on top of the insurance Adanto Vanguard already gives you. Adanto Vanguard, really annoying.
Yep.
Now, we know Michael has a Wizard's Retort here. Do you think Dason anticipates his next spell getting countered?
I know, but that's 5 damage. So.
If I'm looking at open blue mana of this nature, I would always expect my stuff to get countered.
But at the same
I
time, I
agree.
just slam it, I think.
I slammed the
I don't slam my best spell here.
correct, not into this. My best spell is going to wait until Michael resolves his good
Tempest
spell. Yeah, Tempest Djinn right now. But
Yeah, I still like turning it sideways.
yeah, but what Dason's doing is working, and he's under no pressure
Yeah, like
to
I said,
advance
it's still
his board
5
state.
damage, man. It's a lot of damage. Holding up counter spells while you're getting hit for 5 damage is, like, not great.
Now, the question is, do you block?
Ooh.
This is Pride of the Conquerors.
Yes, it is. But he does not have the City's Blessing, so
Doesn't
it's just
matter.
+1/+1. Michael says no.
Retort.
But actually, I'm happy
That's
to
not
see
bad.
I'm happy
That's
to see a
a-
retort for that.
That is a good trade on Dason's half there.
I'm actually happy to see a retort for that. The question is Dason out of gas? I have not seen his hand since the opening salvo, so we'll see if he has lands or he has things to deal with.
Yeah, if he starts to flood a little bit,
Yeah.
and then if Michael can start
Michael might also be flooding.
a good threat, like I would love to see a Djinn here to block that.
Yeah, Michael has 2 counter spells in an island, or like a counter spell spell pierce.
Yep. So we'll see another counter magic.
Yeah, that spell pierce is looking terrible right now.
Yeah.
This is the exact.
Oh, Venerator
What?
locks it on.
It's looking amazing at the moment. Oh no.
He Wizards retorted a Healer's Hawk for 1.
Non-creature spell.
Yes,
Yes.
non-creature spell.
Got it.
The Tempest Djinn does come up, so that Tempest Djinn is a 6/4, but the Venerator locks it on.
Yeah, I got there.
I mean, the removal spell that kills Tempest Djinn
There we go.
can be paid for.
Yeah.
He's just gonna take 2 combats.
He gets First Strike, Vigilance, and 2 combats. Spell Pierce says no. In fact, if he had cast the first half of it, it would not have been Spell Pierceable.
Is he really attacking with that Loxodon?
I mean, it trades for the big threat.
Well, I would block here.
Agreed. That's where I would have blocked as well.
I don't know.
Well,
Because it's
that's
lethal
it
next
anyway.
turn. Or whatever.
Yeah, I would have response resurgenced the.
Yeah, because you can't Spell Pierce it after for 2, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
I mean, basically, Dason presented just enough to pressure Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
The Dauntless Bodyguard is a Savannah Lions with upside, and then he was able to stick the Danta Vanguard because Michael was on the play. Or sorry, on the draw, and that's rough. That's why, like, if you're playing a tempo deck, although you're bringing counterspells out of the side, you really, really don't want to see your counterspells in your opening hand. You actually need to see creatures or something to like just deal with your opponents, or to actually match your opponent's